Hello everyone, you're listening to AU Spartan Spotlight. This is a show where we get to know the student athletes of Aurora University and chat with them about their experiences here. What teams do they play for? What challenges are they currently facing on and off the playing field? We hope to find answers to these questions and more on AU Spartan Spotlight. I'm your host for this episode, Eva Challen. Today on the show, we'll be speaking with AU seniors Alyssa Brems and Bailey Edwards. Alyssa, a physical education major from Moline, Illinois, and Bailey, a sports management major from Mount Pleasant, Texas, are both with us today to discuss how they are preparing for their final season of Aurora women's basketball. Thanks for coming in today, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
I want to thank you both for coming on this show today. So, Alyssa, we'll start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about what your team is up to right now?
Yes, so we just finished our first week of practice last week, and then today was our 7th practice, and we are just really preparing for upcoming scrimmages. We have a scrimmage against Beloit and Loris, and then our first game isn't until November 10th at home against Elmhurst. So we really want to beat them this year, so we're trying to focus.
Excellent. Bailey, how did preseason go for you and your teammates? Can you tell us a little bit about how you prepare for your season?
Yeah, so we have like a 5-week-long preseason. We just really challenge ourselves to get like lifts in and run. It went pretty good, but we're still pretty out of shape, so we're still working on that, but eventually we'll get there.
And does that involve weight training, or are you practicing on the court? Is it kind of a combination of both? How does that work?
Yeah. We incorporated both this year. We normally don't get on the court as much, but we got on the court more this preseason.
Excellent. So, Alyssa, can you tell us a little bit about the incoming freshman class? How are they contributing to your team this year?
Yeah, so we have a new coach this year, so we didn't really get that big of a recruiting class. We only have 3 freshmen. They're really going to be contributors during practice, though, and they will be able to hopefully see some minutes, and they just have to know their role, and eventually they'll work up to where they need to be.
So you mentioned you have a new coach. Bailey, can you tell us about some challenges that you guys will face this year? What's the biggest obstacle for you?
Coaching will be a big one because it's a whole new coaching staff. We don't have a returning assistant coach or anything. So that'll be a big one just because we have just 3 new freshmen and everybody else is returners. So it'll just be a different style of coaching and learning for us.
Can you tell us a little bit about your new coach, either one of you?
He was the assistant coach for the basketball team, so he's been around. So he kind of knows how we play, but it's still learning for him and us.
Definitely, yeah. So, Alyssa, what are you most excited for this upcoming season?
I'm just really excited for conference because I think we're going to be a top competitor. Like Bailey said, we didn't really lose anyone, so our starting 5's back, and I just think we're really going to push each other, and we have more team chemistry this year, so I'm just really looking forward to see like where we come in the standings.
Definitely. So speaking of that, you mentioned that you're playing some teams in your upcoming games. Who would you say is your biggest rival, Bailey? In conference or out of conference?
Wisconsin Lutheran is a big one because they just stay on the top of everyone in conference, so they're a big competitor for us. And then, our rival is Benedictine, so that'll be a big one for us too.
Definitely. So seeing as you both are senior players, I want to just talk about a little bit about your time at AU, sort of how you've grown as players. So Bailey, I see you're an out-of-state player. Can you tell us a little bit about your hometown and what brought you to AU?
Yeah, so I'm actually from a really small town in Texas. I'm like 2 hours from Dallas. I kind of got recruited. They watched video on me, and they reached out to me, and I talked to Kayla, which she's not here. She wasn't here when I got here. But then I came on a visit and talked to our previous coach and one of the seniors, and just looked around the campus, and then came to my decision that I was going to come here.
What made you choose AU? Like, what about the school did you really like?
I like the small community because like I'm from a small town, so it kind of reminded me of my town, I guess. And going from a small school, I didn't want to go to a bigger school, so I felt like this was a good fit for me.
Definitely. And so, Alyssa, you're from in-state, right? So how far away is your hometown?
A little over 2 hours from here, so I'm right on the border of Illinois and Iowa.
Okay, and so what made you choose AU?
So I got recruited, as Bailey said, kind of for basketball. Our previous coach watched me play in the Nike tournament in Chicago, and so got stuff in the mail, was interested in it. Favorite color's blue, so that kind of stuck out to me. But also my uncle lives in Montgomery, Illinois, so his house is only about 10 minutes from here. I didn't know that at the time. It was so close.
Oh, wow.
But that was
Yeah.
really cool that like that connection happened.
Mhm.
And kind of like Bailey said, I kind of wanted a smaller community, and I really just had that home feel when I got on campus. And everyone was so nice. So like
Yeah.
as soon as I stepped on campus and like I left, I went home and I told my mom, when can we go back? So I kind
That's
of
a good
figured that
sign.
this is the right place.
Yeah, so both of you having been here for a few years, can you tell us a little bit about what's changed in all the time you've been here? So it doesn't have to just be in basketball, but in basketball, how has your team changed? Is the culture the same? Do you still feel that way about the school? Do you love it as much as you did when you first came here?
Yeah, I still like it. I mean, as far as our team, I feel like our chemistry has grown because since we didn't lose anyone, we keep growing that chemistry. And then as seniors, you see like your responsibility growing as well. Like you have to take on the leadership role and really grab the underclassmen and get them to challenge themselves like we had to challenge ourselves freshman to senior year.
Yeah, would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like leadership's a big thing, like stepping into that. And then I think I still love the campus just as much, maybe even more every single year.
That's good to hear. And so another question for both of you. Do you have a favorite basketball memory at AU? This can be at any time. Is there a game that sticks out or a play?
Yeah, so our freshman year, we played CU Dub and we won on a buzzer beater. So that was like really cool, and like just being part of that and just like the celebrations after the games and just like getting in that huddle, falling down together, like that's something that I won't forget.
For sure.
Yeah, our freshman year was one of our best years. We actually made it to the championship game of our conference, and our seniors were really good at leadership and getting us into the flow of college basketball. So I'd say freshman year was by far the best, probably.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So in terms of this season and starting pretty soon, can you both tell us a little bit about personal and team goals you have for this season? Where do you expect to finish kind of in the conference?
Yeah, we actually just had to write team goals for our coach.
Always good.
So I kind of just said, like, team goal for me is getting top 3 in the conference. And after getting top 3, you know, try to succeed to the championship game if farther.
Sure.
Yeah, I also said the same thing. I said get in the top 3 of conference, and then I know one of our goals was like lose 10 or less games. Last year we were kind of at 14 and 12, and we lost a couple close games. So I definitely think with everyone returning, we definitely have that potential.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for both coming on the show today. It was so interesting to hear about your upcoming seasons, and best of luck in your senior year.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll speak with our reporters in the newest episode of Writers Roundup.
We'll be speaking with Gabby and Brett today. Gabby went to the homecoming football game, and Brett looked into the baseball team as they wrapped up fall ball. Thank you guys for coming tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Gabby, how did the football team do this weekend in their homecoming game?
Overall, they did really well. Unfortunately, they didn't end up getting the win that they wanted to and ended up losing 20-23, but they fought really hard.
What do you think they did well during their game, and what could they have done better?
I think what they did well was probably that they worked together as a team and just overall made sure that their throws were on point, and just overall it was good. And then something that I think that they could work on would probably be just making sure that their intensity is high the entire time that they are playing, no matter what the score is.
And do you think the Spartan Athletic Park makes the games more exciting for the players as well as the fans?
I think for both it does. I think the fact that you can tailgate and just hang out with your friends before the game, and just the overall just happiness and like just overall mood is just like upbeat, and everyone's just there to watch the game, and I just think that overall is good.
And who does the football team play against next?
They play Rockford this Saturday at 1 at Rockford.
Well, thanks for sharing today, Gabby. We wish the football team luck in the rest of their season. So, Brett, the baseball team is just heading out of preseason. How are they looking so far?
So I talked to Captain Jeff Mays, he's a senior, and he was saying they're very motivated. They got a taste of the national tournament last year, and they have a lot of returning seniors to lead them, and they're motivated. The biggest thing he said was they're hungry, getting that taste of the national tournament. The team they lost to actually ended up winning the national championship, and they really felt like they had a shot to beat them last year. So, they're just hungry after that taste, and, they're looking to, win a national championship, really.
The baseball team won conference last year. Is it likely that they'll do it again?
I mean, kind of going off what I just said, yeah. I mean, they have a lot of experience returning. Captains Jeff Mays, Cole Davis, Nick Matthew, they're doing a great job of leading the team, making sure their head's in the right place. So, I mean, anything can happen, but right now, a repeat, I would say, is likely.
And when does their season officially start, and who will they be playing against?
Their season will start February 23rd in Jacksonville. They're playing Elmhurst College, I believe. So they're all looking forward to that.
And thank you, Brett, for sharing.
No problem.
And thank you for watching, audience. And you can watch this episode as well as other episodes of Writers Roundup at auspartanmedia.com.
Thank you for watching. You can see this episode and others at auspartanmedia.com. Stay great, Spartans.